Hi, folks, and welcome back to Whiskey and Watches with Nick. Actually, I guess tonight it's just Whiskey with Nick. Tonight we are doing one of my favorites, and what I would argue is a straight up classic bourbon, Woodford Reserve. Now, I did a review of Woodford Reserve's wheated bourbon a few months ago and wasn't too happy with it because it was bland shit. Thankfully, this is the real deal, and it is, for the price, really a superb bourbon. Not the premium bourbon that Brown-Forman marketed it as in the 90s when they introduced it, and which at that point it legitimately was. It's since been overshadowed by, frankly, superior and more expensive bourbons. It is, however, still a real gem, in my opinion. So, it is, as I just mentioned, from Brown-Forman, and you know how I admire their work, or maybe I admire the fact that they tend to buy the right distilleries. Anyway, I like the Bravo Foxtrot stuff, okay? This is actually brewed in Woodford County, Kentucky, Woodford Reserve, Woodford County, see what they did there, in a distillery that previously had, did I say brewed? Oh my God. Distilled in a distillery, because it's liquor, not beer, that had previously made early times. And that went out of business in the 70s and was defunct for about 20 years. And Brown-Forman bought it in like the early 90s when the bourbon craze was just getting going in the US. I was, alas, only in middle school in the early 90s, so I wasn't really drinking bourbon. I was drinking other stuff I wasn't supposed to be drinking. And I think they started releasing this in '96, which is when the bourbon craze was really getting going in the US. Maker's Mark was cool again. Bourbon, after 20 or 30 years of being something that your granddad drank, was suddenly hip again. And this was part of that whole like marketing, boomer, yuppie milieu, frankly, okay? Not being critical, that's just what it was. Fast forward, 25 years later, and I don't think a lot of people think a whole heck of a lot's going on with Woodford Reserve, which is too bad, because to me it's really good. Is it a special bourbon? No, not nearly. But at that $30-35 price range, is it a really solid whiskey? It is. So, enough with the intro. Let's talk a little bit more specifically about this. It is primarily corn, 70% corn, 72% corn, excuse me, not a numbers guy, 18% rye, and then the remaining 10% is barley, of course. Doesn't feel as corn dominant as, say, like something from JD, Jack Daniels, but yeah, once you see the mash bill, you can sort of place the corn in the nose and on the palate. Actually, a surprisingly dark copper color. I don't know if that's natural or if there might be a little coloring added. Not quite sure. 90 proof. I've read some reviews online that say it's hot. There's ethanol in the nose. I don't get it. I don't get ethanol in the nose. It's not hot on the nose or the palate to me. It's a smooth whiskey. And even at 90%, it doesn't require any water. No age statement. I would guess probably 3 years-ish. Might vary per batch. I honestly don't know. It's definitely not an aged whiskey. And I paid $34 or $35 for this at the local state-owned liquor shop here in lovely Beaverton, Oregon. So on the nose, nothing that's going to blow you away here, nothing unusual, very classic bourbon profile. Sweet vanilla, like honeyed vanilla. It's a sweet vanilla. A little bit of sweet orange, like orange creamsicle. Sort of sweet orange. I guess I keep saying sweet over and over again, and I think that belies the 72% corn in the mash bill, really. maybe like a little warm snickerdoodle or something. It's nice. It's really nice. It's gentle, it's sweet, it's nice. Very soft mouthfeel. The sweetness to me on the palate is, I would say that vanilla is still there. And that sweet fruit that I was calling orange creamsicle tastes, again, a lot like a sweet candied cherry to me. I think just for my palate personally, corn in a mash bill frequently gets interpreted on my mouth as sweet cherry, candied cherry, you know, sugary, artificially cherry, which I would never eat in real life because ew, but I love it in a bourbon. Pretty consistent nose. It's really not changing. Pinkies up. Yeah. So smooth. On the finish, sweetness, maybe the slightest hint of I mean, really the cherry sweetness just carries over into the finish. Maybe the slightest hint of light oak. I'm searching for like some tobacco or pepper or earth. Really, it's not there. Just a sweet, gentle, simple, enjoyable bourbon from nose to finish, folks. Woodford Reserve, if you're not familiar with it, and it's within your budget in the 30 to 35, closer to 35 price point, probably worth checking out, especially if you enjoy like a more corn dominant whiskey. If you enjoy anything in the JD family, you'll probably like this. Just don't expect it to be earth-shattering. Expect it to be gentle and enjoyable. Hey, if you've made it this far, A, thank you for ignoring the dishwasher noise in the background, and then B, I thank you as always for your time and your attention, and I hope that your love of whiskey continues to grow. We'll get back to the watches next time, I swear. Folks, take care, be well, drink your whiskey, wear your watches. See you around.